How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Your boy Ruffled Rowlet has returned. We have another video today, guys, to talk about. Actually, I think I have two videos today, mainly, and maybe something else during the day if something happens. I will be having a lot of top 5s coming back and top 10 videos, as well as ROM hack showcases as well, guys. But also rumor videos, of course, every day if there's something to talk about. And there definitely is something to talk about today, guys. So, I'm going to go through all the things I have here to talk about in this video, and then I have another video planned later today. So, let's get started with the first things first, guys. And this is something that I tweeted out yesterday, and I want to bring it up because not a lot of people know about this, but actually, there's this interesting thing when you start out playing, I think. I'm not sure if it's the start of the game, but somewhere within the game, and this is actually real, and this is from the game. This is no bullshit, no lies, this is actually in the game, and this was discovered by Zeke. Now, I know about a bunch of other websites have been picking this up and like reposting it and stuff and whatnot, but this credit goes to Zeke. He was the first person to find this. He's messaged me about this about almost a week ago now. He messaged me and said, dude, I've seen this text line in the game. Here's the list of all the texts from Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and Sun and Moon and whatnot. These are the texts in the game, but I don't know how they fit or what part of the game they're like shown in. So he did research, he found it, he sent it to me, and I was like, dude, this is fantastic, thank you so much for finding it. But as you guys can see, what the actual text says in the game here, as you can see on the screen, is Alola and Kanto, ... They seem far apart, but they're closer than you think. This is such a sketchy hint, right? This is such a sketchy hint, because if Kanto and Alola are very close to each other, then the possibility for Alolan Pokemon, or Alolan forms of Pokemon, and Alolan Pokemon as well, being in Kanto is very likely. And as we already know, the Pokemon 21st movie, or actually the Pokemon 20th movie, features Pokemon like within Kanto that are actually from Alola. You know what I mean? You have like Incineroar, you have, I'm not really sure which ones, but like, you know, Lycanroc and whatnot. You have tons of Pokemon from Gen 7 and like, you know, from Alola within Kanto in that movie. So they're definitely close to each other according to this. They are very close to each other as regions, which means we will potentially, of course, see, you know, Gen 7 Pokemon within Kanto and, you know, these Pokemon Let's Go, you know, Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee games. Most definitely. So, I want to know your opinions on that, guys. What do you think about this? Do you think there's an underlying meaning to this, or do you think it's just kind of to the point already? So, that's one thing. Now, next up is something you guys have been sending me. This was sent to me by Eduardo, and also, I think by Uzi was also linked me in it. So this is actually a little bit of a trailer type of thing, a little bit of a trailer video that was like, you know, put out. But this is not related directly, I think, to the games. So I think it's more like it's a song. It's just one of those songs that Pokemon releases, and I'll actually show you what it's about. But the actual website, like the actual place that posted it first, was these guys. And if you guys remember these guys, this is the Poke Times Twitter account. These are the people who, if you look at this, like if their actual Twitter page right here, you will notice something interesting. Do you see what's right over there, guys? Do you see that? Do you see what's right up there? It is Eevee and Pikachu in the corner, right? That's one of the things, but that's just not all. They posted the original trailer, if you guys remember. That little trailer video that they did, they posted that. They've been posting a bunch of things about all the Pokemon games. Look at this. They've been posting about Sun and Moon, you know, X and Y, Black and White, Diamond and Pearl, Ruby, Sapphire, Gold, Silver, you know what I mean, Red, Blue, Green, Yellow, etc. They've been posting about all of these. A lot of Pikachu-related stuff. Look at this. A bunch of Pikachu stuff. A bunch of Gen 1 stuff as well. And then eventually, if you go all the way down to their original post, they have that one, like, you know, the little animation with Pikachu from Pokemon, starting from Pokemon Yellow, and then Pikachu running across all the Pokemon screens and the games and stuff. They had that sort of stuff, like, popping up. So they have a lot of these things, which, honestly, I don't really know how to feel about it. It's really strange to me, but here is the trailer if you guys remember it. And I'll just kind of play it here, but also lower the volume, because otherwise you may have some trouble. But as you can see right here, he's talking, and then, you know, you see Pikachu, and it's Pokemon Yellow shown here at the start. It isn't red or blue, it's yellow. See, it's yellow in the start, and not like red and blue, which is what would make more sense. Or red and green, maybe, would make more sense to show instead of showing Pokemon Yellow. But they show you know, a bunch of yellow. Look, it's still yellow, just playing. Like, I'm not sure, we're almost like 26 seconds in, 30 seconds in, halfway through like a minute, and we're still at, you know, that. And now we jump over to, you know, gold, and still yellow is still around here. So, constantly showing yellow. And this is the same account, again, that posted this stuff. And this looks really cool, though, as you can see. And I'm going to pause that real quick. But as you can see, it's like a trailer, and it's like a song. And there's like a I guess, like a water stone or whatever, that like somebody uses and it evolves. And there you go. It's like a song about Staryu and whatnot. And then Pokemon Japan. I'm not sure what this logo says right here. If you guys can actually translate this, if somebody does know, like, you know, Japanese and whatnot, please translate what it says right here. But it's like Pokemon Japan and whatnot. I'm not sure what it relates to precisely, though. But it's very interesting that they're showing, like, you know, like these like 3D animations are weird because they usually don't do 3D animations for their music videos, right? They usually do them in 2D or something like that. That's usually what they always do. So this is a very strange one. If I actually go to the YouTube channel, which is this one right here, which is the official Pokemon channel, which I'm sub to, you will actually see that they have stuff like that over here, for example. And here it is. And I'm just gonna lower the volume real quick. But if you watch it, you will see that they have like, you know, it's fighting against a Rhydon, I think, and as well against a Tyranitar later on. Which is very odd, and they mentioned something about kaijus and these, I mean, we know Tyranitar is based on a kaiju, aka Godzilla and whatnot, so that makes sense, but like, they talk about, I guess, it fighting giant Pokemon, so I'm not sure if it's a hint or anything, guys. I would love to know your opinions, though. My personal opinion is, it's just a song. I don't think it has any relations, like, directly, but I find it interesting that they have it in 3D in this really weird style. It's very odd. They don't usually do that. I don't think I've seen it before. If I haven't, and there is more stuff like these 3D animation music videos, then let me know. I usually know they're in 2D and they aren't like that, so I am very curious, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what do you think about that. So, next up is a tweet that I got, which I thought was a bit interesting to talk about, which comes from Hiroshi, and Hiroshi says, essentially just messages me and a few other YouTubers, says, I think I figured out the 1121 that Project Eevee keeps referring to. 1121 AM, but refers to the number 1121, which can be read as Eevee. 1 can be read as, and then he just gives a letter, or E, and 2 can be read as, and then he gives the, you know, the VU, and then that's why 1121 is Eevee Day, because Eevee is how you can read it. And this is, in other words, 1121 can be read as EEVUEE. That letter in Japanese elongates the letter immediately preceding it. So, as far as I've understood this, he's just trying to say that kind of hints towards, like, you know, that those like numbers being like Eevee Day, which is the whole point of it, right? That's what I think it's actually about, obviously, because that's what Project Eevee is all about in the simple terms. That's what it's actually referring to, and that's how I've understood it as well. So I don't think it's too much crazy stuff about that, guys. We didn't know, like, that it's, you know, Eevee's Day on the 21st, always 21st, every month I think they do these posts about the 21st usually, which is very strange, but I don't think anything crazy is going to happen on 21st, guys. Don't assume anything crazy on that day. If something does happen on that day, then I was wrong, but I don't think anything crazy is going to be happening on the 21st, which is actually just 3 days from now, so I don't expect much that day, but we'll see what happens, guys. So, let's get to the next thing. So, next up here is something that was sent by Austin Mannings, which, you know, he says, oh, he just added me in here, and then it's somebody called Revolution YT, or Reeve, and then he links over to Zachary's post, or, you know, Endgame the Cube's post, which, you know, he found another quote-unquote leak, but it's just a rumor from somebody claiming they know stuff about this upcoming, you know, game and stuff. So, let's read what they have to say here. A world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go. And then read the actual message here. It says, have fun. Been in development since 2015. Project was known to the staff as Beluga, referencing the size of the game, and because Junichi jokes and that he loves whales too. Johto will be released as a free add-on at a later date, as some have probably seen a merchandise line, which recently revealed last month, Let's Go to Johto, which I'm not sure if that's real, but I think it is. I think if you want to know more info about that, definitely check out, I think specifically, Paul Ryan on Twitter, he probably has info on that, so definitely check him out. He probably has info about those sort of things, and, you know, do a little bit of research. I'll just see if I can find it as well myself. Either way, then he says, Safari Zone has several rare Pokemon, including Alola forms, and a new mechanic known as Ultra Shinies. These are exclusively limited to the Safari Zone. So, I don't know if I trust this, okay? I don't think I believe this, because, I mean, it sounds awesome, by the way, if they did this with the Safari Zone, and made it, like, so you have rare Pokemon like Alola forms there, which sounds reasonable. That actually sounds like a good plan, and a really smart way to make it work, and have Alola forms show up, and Alolan Pokemon show up within, like, you know, this region, by having them in the Safari Zone, because they're exotic Pokemon. I mean, that makes sense. And then maybe these new Ultra Shiny things. That actually somewhat makes sense. That actually sounds, to me, logical. But is it real? I don't think so. So let's continue. Several characters are reimagined as new characters. For instance, Champion Ryuki is a reimagining of Lance. In Pikachu's edition, you are given a Pikachu with an odd tail known as Turbo Tail. Quicker and more distraught by nature, only this Pikachu can evolve into Gorochu. Which, this is where I think it's fake, because I don't think Gorochu is going to be a real thing. In Eevee's edition of the game, you're given an Eevee that knows how to sing. It's heroic and playful by nature. Only this Eevee can evolve into Goalion. It was important to Junichi for both evolutions of the starters to incorporate Go in their name while staying true to their inspiration. This is actually a really cool point, okay? So saying that, like, you know, because Gorochu has Gorochu, you know what I mean? And then there is Go in Gualion. That actually sounds really cool. I'm not going to deny that sounds cool, but I don't believe it. Next up is a select batch of Pokemon from the full Generation 8 games still in development will be featured in this game, but these are the first Gen 8 titles. So apparently he's trying to say here that these games are Generation 8, which I'm going to discuss a little in a moment as well. But he's claiming they're Generation 8 titles, and that we'll be seeing a select batch, a small batch of Pokemon from like a different region showing up in this. And that's something that could happen, actually, that we have this game with like the original Pokemon, that sort of stuff, but also a few new ones that are just like going to be hinting at this next generation we're going to be getting. Then he says here, select batch, okay, that's the same thing. You will encounter a few familiar faces, but some will be version exclusives. These characters are given a complete makeover, and the ones that have been with you for 2 years may not be as you remember. So I'm not sure what it means by with you for 2 years may not be as you remember. So I think he's referring to like maybe Lily and stuff, and, you know, characters from Alola for the last 2 years. They will change, you know, since 2016 and now until 2018. They will not be the same. They may be aged. Then they say Jesse and James make a return, but oppose a bigger threat than before, which we know that they were actually in yellow. Jesse and James were in yellow as Team Rocket. So that is one thing. And then he says, see you soon. So I don't know what to feel about this. By the way, thank you to Endgame the Cube for, actually having this, info shared. But I'm not sure what to feel about this. Now, next up is actually something I wanted to talk about as well, which is a bit more minuscule, but, I want to just kind of quickly go into it. So, before we go into that, I just want to say this is very strange to me. I don't know what to feel about, like, these IDs, but this sounds like a perfect game to me. This right here sounds like a perfect game. But I'm not feeling that it's going to be true. I would love if it was, but I don't really trust it. So next up is something that Nintendo grabs Pokemon trademark in North America. So Nintendo is on a trademark binge in recent weeks, and yet another registration has surfaced today. Nintendo has secured the Pokemon trademark in North America, and it ties to tableware, watches and clocks, stationery bags, bowls, tablecloth, and clothing. This trademark dates back to the registration in Japan in 2014. So apparently they're going to be releasing a new sort of, new assortment of merchandising and that sort of stuff, which is cool info, good always to know about this sort of stuff. So I want to just kind of let you guys know about that trademark. Now, let's go to the next thing. Now, this is something that we already knew about, because you viewers actually let me know about this during my stream. You all told me, like, that there is actually Let's Go at the back of the Ultra Sun and Moon cases. So, like, I don't have, like, the Ultra Sun and Moon, 3DS case. I only have my Soul Silver right here right now. I have others there. But on the back, actually, it says Let's Go, with the exclamation mark and everything, which is just so unique. And they have, like, I think it's a backwards rainbow, actually, which is really strange. But that's right there, and it's very odd. I don't know how to feel about it. It's a very weird thing, but it's actually maybe a hint, so I wanted to make sure to mention that, guys. Now, next up is another thing, and that is this post right here. As you guys may remember, certain people were talking about, and I also talked about this, and I thought it was real at first, but then, I did an update video telling you guys it was not real, is that there was this official with quotation marks, Nintendo Magazine confirms Pokemon on Switch will be Generation 8. Now, I want to make sure to point out this out. The upcoming Pokemon games for Nintendo Switch are likely to be take some time away for the release just yet. And whether or not we'll see official reveals of the games during E3 or a Pokemon Direct around the time of the event, it's still unknown. This information from the official Pokemon Magazine appears to confirm at least some nuggets of information. So, this was posted, I know Annabelle posted this originally on Twitter and let us all know about it. And, this magazine was like, and you actually see the images right here. It was like, Pokemon tras toda una vida asociada a consolas portátiles. So basically like, the next upcoming game is going to be portable, and it's going to be, Generation 8, and it's going to be a new generation of Pokemon with new mechanics and how it's going to work, and it's going to be in 2018, yada, yada, yada. Now, this magazine actually cannot be trusted. I want to give you an update on this. We cannot trust this magazine because they've been wrong in the past. They've been actually saying stuff like, they actually, I think in the previous magazine, they said like, there's going to be a portal to Sinnoh in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which never happened. I don't know, maybe if they got tidbits of information and they kind of put it in there, but they were showing one thing that's interesting here, and it's actually a picture of Pikachu from Pokemon Yellow's cover. That is the weird part to me. I'm like super creeped out about that. That's what confuses me a lot. Why would you have that there? But I digress. Either way, so that was one thing. The next up is actually that people were able to discover through those Satoshi Tajiri, manga, the Satoshi Tajiri manga, like the original creator of Pokemon, that sort of stuff. That manga actually had like, more Pokemon that we haven't seen that were never in Generation 1 that had to be cut out, being the missing nose, missing numbers. A lot of them were cut out, and they actually have now kind of, been able to discover some of them. So one down here is missing no Hex, and that's, I just get one, I guess one that just didn't show up. Then you also have Electabuzz there and there, Magmar, Psyduck. Then you have Kangaskhan? Okay, well, either way. Unknown Bull right there, which we don't know what that is. Then you have Missing No again, Missing No. And as you keep going up right here, you will notice that, there was a bunch of these Missing No's and Missing Numbers and, like, spots that were open. And then you have Jarg or Jagu, Cactusu, and then you have, I think, Dragonite, Venonat, Farfetch'd. Then you have, I think, a Missing No again. You have Beta Tyranitar over there, as you guys can see, which I don't think was ever used. You continue up here, and you have Unknown Elephant, as well on the left right there. You have a Kuroki, or Croaky. You continue up, you have a Beta Seal. And as you continue going, you have the deer, as you guys already remember I talked about, and of course, real Pokemon. So these are actually Pokemon that were cut out, ended up being the Missing Nose, Missing Numbers, right? And it would be interesting if they actually ended up having these Pokemon now in these upcoming games, as a way to, like, be like, okay, we never had them in the past, let's have them now. So that'd be very interesting. But if you want to read more about it, there is the Beta Seal, and Gyaon was also a thing. So if you guys want to read more about that, I'll link everything down below in Qbert P's, like, Tumblr here and that sort of stuff. So if you guys want to check it out, just check the links in the description down below if you want to do more research and stuff, guys. So either way, that's going to be the end of the video. If you all did enjoy, then drop a like down below, guys. And thank you so much for watching. My name's Rolf Rowlett. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.